Hi, thanks for joining me for this week's quick business tip. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency, and today we are in the first week of December 2025. It is officially the home stretch for the end of the year. And I want to talk about a very specific feeling that tends to creep in for a lot of business leaders right about this time of year. And I like to label it the gray zone. This is when you might physically be sitting on the couch with your family. Maybe you're watching a fun holiday movie. The fire is out in the fireplace, but mentally, you're not on that couch. You are miles away. You might be rewriting an email in your head or covertly checking your email messages under the dinner table. You might be making a mental list of all the things you want to get done in your business, but haven't done yet. You're not really working, but you're definitely not resting or being present with your family and friends. You're stuck in this gray zone. And the worst part about it is that when you're in the gray zone, you're not getting the benefits of being productive at work, but you're also not getting the benefits of resting, relaxing, and being present with your family. And I know this feeling very well because at the end of every year for many, many years, I spent a lot of time in the gray zone. I convinced myself that if I just hustled a little bit more during what should have been downtime for me, I could start the year ahead of schedule and really step into the best year that I've ever had. But the truth is that I never started the next year feeling like I was ahead. I only started that next year feeling even more exhausted. So today I want to help you break the gray zone cycle. We're going to perform a bit of a triage as we step into December, and we're going to prioritize your to-do list. I want to help you identify this overreach that we tend to find ourselves in December. And instead of ruining your holiday season, really give you the plan to strategically move those due dates so that you can end the year with peace instead of panic. So, why is it that for me, years I kept doing this in December when I would see year after year that I would just start January tired? Why do we decide that the busiest 4 weeks out of our year is also going to be the 4 weeks that we try to cram so much work into? Well, I found that it's usually because we want that new year, new me feeling in our businesses. We want to wake up January 1st, and we want to feel like everything is fresh and new and ready to go. So we tend to overreach in December. I work with a lot of business leaders, and I see time and time again that they, in an attempt to make next year a really strong start, try in December to launch a brand new program or service offer, or they want to create this amazing, huge, bright, shiny new lead magnet, launch a podcast that they've never done before, and they want to do all of that in about 3 weeks in December. The reality is that building a new program, a new service offer, or a high quality lead magnet is really a 3-month project between the planning, building the shiny pages, building that workbook that's going to go with your lead magnet, and then delivering it. This is really something that should be stretched out over the course of 3 months because you're still doing all your regular work in between. But instead of thinking about this logically, a lot of business owners this time of year try to squeeze these huge projects into 3 weeks, which are also the busiest 3 weeks between holiday parties, shopping, traveling with your family, the kids being out of school, and all the stuff that you have to do to wrap up the year from an admin and a financial standpoint. When you try to add this huge overreach into December, you find yourself trying to shove a watermelon into a coffee cup. It's just not going to fit. And when you continue to try to do it, you really make a big mess. So I'm going to tell you something that maybe you haven't heard before. Nobody is going to wake up on January 1st and start searching for your new lead magnet. Nobody is going to wake up January 1st and look for this brand new program or service offer. Your audience is going to wake up January 1st just like you. They're going to wake up tired. They're going to wake up recovering from their New Year's Eve party. They're going to want to sit around, watch football, maybe put together a puzzle with your family. So if you decide to go ahead and kill yourself in December so that you can launch something brand new on New Year's Day, you're just launching to a completely empty room. Now, what if instead of overreaching in December, we don't try to do all of the things in the next 3 weeks, but instead we do the things that we know need to be done? I like to look at this as triage. If you go into an emergency room, there's going to be a very skilled, usually very experienced nurse who's going to talk to you about your symptoms and your problems. And they are going to triage the people who really have an emergency and need to be seen right away, and those people who can wait. And that's what I want you to do with your to-do list and your dream list and your let's start next year amazing list. So grab a pen and a piece of paper, and we're going to create 3 columns. The first column is all of your must-dos for December. These are the non-negotiables, things that if you don't do them, your business is going to break or it's going to cost you lots of money. Now, we can't forget the most important part of your business. You have to keep serving your clients well in December. So that definitely goes in the first column. You also want to send invoices out so that you can get paid before the end of the year. I think that it's a really great idea to send a heartfelt thank you connection type email. We talked about this a few episodes ago, and send that out to all of your current and past clients during the month of December. This is not the type of email where you put a bunch of sales and buy this, buy that in there. It's just a thank you, appreciate you. You have helped me get to where I am. The last thing that needs to go into the first column for sure is your financial stuff. So you need to close out the month, close out the quarter, close out the year, and all of that has to be done in December, non-negotiable, right? Column number 2 is those quick things that you can add to your to-do list in December that are going to give you mental peace. These are some of those tiny nagging tasks that just continue to pop in your head and make you feel like you're just not quite done with everything at the end of the year. So the goal for column number 2 isn't about growth for your business. It's about mental peace, kind of cleaning everything up. So what I like to do in December, I like to clean everything off of my desk. Declutter, reorganize, even if, because let's be honest, I have them, those piles that look like clutter to everybody else, but I know where things are. They've all got to go. I get new folders, new labels. I digitize things when I can and just start fresh in January. It makes me feel better mentally when I can walk in on Christmas Eve and see my desk clean. Then the other thing I would encourage you to do is go ahead and unsubscribe to those newsletters that keep popping up in your inbox, but you never read them, you have no interest in them, you don't even remember signing up for them, and you're just ready for them to be gone. Yes, it feels easier to just delete them every day or every week when they pop in, but there is just a wonderful feeling that comes from finding 10 of them and just unsubscribing from that list. Not the junky ones where you're really not sure how you got on the list and you're afraid that if you unsubscribe, you're going to end up on another list. But the ones where, like, yeah, you keep seeing this person, you know they're a real person, you know they're legit, you probably signed up for their newsletter, but you're over it now and you just want it gone. Go ahead and take the 5 minutes that it's going to take to unsubscribe to 10 of those sometime in December. The last thing that is very helpful to go in bucket number 2 is to make sure that you have paid all of your vendors. It's going to take you about 15 minutes, but when you complete a small task like this, you get a massive dopamine hit and your brain like clicks into place like, hey, we've got everything done for the year. Now, add whatever else absolutely needs to be done in column 1 and the things that are going to make you feel peaceful in column number 2. Now we have column number 3. And these are those big projects, those dreams, those things that you think you want to get done before the end of December. But I'm going to encourage you to push them off until week 2 or 3 in January. This is a really important column. This is the column that new program, new service goes into, that new podcast idea, maybe a massive website change. Just move that deadline to sometime in January or move the start date to sometime in January, and you will have a much more peaceful December. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't want you to start it on the 1st or the 2nd of January, because that first week of January is for waking back up, getting back into your business rhythms. And if you can give yourself permission to wait until the 2nd or 3rd week of January to start all these new exciting projects and programs, then that will allow you to really rest in December. Because if you're going to start these programs January 2nd, you won't be resting in December. You will take the last week or 2 of December and try to like prep and plan and get excited and ready for these projects that you're going to start on January 1st. But if you start these projects on January 15th, you get to take 1 or 2 weeks in December and really rest. Wrap things up for your business and rest so that you can start getting excited about these projects and programs that you're going to start in the middle of January. You can start getting excited about them the beginning of January. It's a really great way to conserve your energy and be more present with your family and friends during the holidays. And here's the best part. A project that you launch or you start working on in the middle of January and you go into it rested and energized will perform 10 times better than a project that you start or launch on January 1st and you do it with burnt out and resentful energy. Guaranteed every time, promise. Because the reality is your energy is your most valuable asset. And if you spend the holidays in the gray zone and you're obsessing over a lead magnet that really could have just waited for 2 weeks, and you spend your time obsessing over emails that probably aren't going to get you the results that you wanted anyway, you're going to deplete your energy right before you need it the most, which is at the beginning of January. So the best gift that you can give yourself and your business this year isn't a new lead magnet or a new website or a new program. It's to start the year rested. And the challenge I have for you today is to look at your to-do list for the next 3 weeks. Find those watermelons, the big, heavy projects that you're trying to squeeze into a tiny, tiny amount of time. And then take the start date for those projects and just move them. Maybe it's the middle of January, maybe it's sometime in February or March. But if you move them to at least the second week of January, you will feel a huge weight lifted from your shoulders. Then I want you to take a deep breath and go enjoy spending time with your family and friends. Until next week, keep leading with integrity, serving with heart, and take some time for rest this season. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency.